The Stoic knows that the hardest ground to cultivate is the self. Discipline is not a performance but a practice, the slow and steady shaping of a person into someone who can withstand what the world delivers without complaint or collapse. Seneca reminds us, acquire something each day that fortifies you. A truth, a habit, a strength. The world will test you without warning. The preparation must come before the storm. Just as the body must be trained against weakness, so must the mind be taught not to yield at the first tremor of pain or discomfort. Rigorous physical or intellectual training is not about mastery over others, but mastery over reaction. The Stoic does not seek pain. He does not glamorize adversity. But when hardship arrives, he meets it upright, not because he enjoys the suffering, but because he has prepared for it. He does not ask that life be easier, only that he be stronger. And strength, as he knows it, is not a clenched jaw or tightened fist. It is clarity, stillness, the choice not to flee discomfort, but to let it temper the soul. Through cold mornings, aching limbs, restless nights, and unsettled thoughts, the Stoic trains, not for spectacle, but for stability. Each difficulty becomes a proving ground, an opportunity to refine. Every strain is a summons to be better. This is not discipline as punishment. It is discipline as liberation. In mastering himself, the Stoic frees himself from distraction, fear, and the sway of mood or public noise. He learns to endure, and then to thrive. Not by brute resistance, but by intelligent engagement. Not by clinging to control, but by knowing precisely what can and cannot be commanded. The body breaks down. The world turns. But the trained mind remains. Rooted. Ready. In a world seduced by ease, the Stoic seeks depth. Not in comfort, but in meaning. Not in escape, but in engagement. The pursuit of happiness, as commonly practiced, avoids discomfort and seeks relief. But the Stoic knows that, rightly understood, discomfort is not an enemy. It is the forge where character is shaped. Resilience is not born of wishful thinking or momentary courage. It is built through a life of alignment, where your beliefs are reflected in how you act. Purpose is the fulcrum. Without it, effort becomes exhaustion. With it, even hardship becomes a form of strength. Many today walk through life outwardly successful, inwardly uncertain. They hold what the world calls achievement, yet feel hollow. Stoicism offers no promises of fame, no pursuit of perfection. It offers something quieter and more enduring, the clarity that comes from living by nature, reason, and virtue. When storms rise, sickness, loss, failure, the clarity of purpose holds. The Stoic does not ask why me. He asks what now. He understands that setbacks are not signs to turn back but invitations to deepen. Like an athlete who trains with strain to prepare for competition, the Stoic trains his mind to face the weight of existence without panic. He cultivates resilience that does not depend on outcome but on orientation. His direction is fixed not by moods or market winds but by principle. Purpose does not arrive fully formed. It is shaped, discovered, and tested. The Stoic meets each day with the question, how shall I live today in a way that strengthens what matters most? And in that asking, day after day, resilience forms, not as armor but as architecture. When the world shakes, the man of inner construction remains standing. 12 principles rise from the quiet furnace of practice and reflection, not as laws to obey, but as invitations to live with deeper steadiness, greater clarity, and unshakable resolve. They are not learned in books alone, but in the dust and noise of life, tested where the world presses hardest and the soul must answer clearly. Principle 1. Endure with purpose. Endurance without aim is only survival. The Stoic does not simply bear the weight of hardship, he bears it with meaning. He sees suffering not as proof of failure but as material for growth, as fire through which the character is forged. Pain, loss, and disappointment are not interruptions of the path, they are the path. To endure with purpose is to suffer wisely. Not passively, not with bitterness, but with a gaze fixed on what the trial can refine. The Stoic asks, what can this teach me? What can I practice here? Patience, courage, clarity? He understands that adversity is not to be welcomed with cheerfulness, but met with readiness. Each difficulty becomes an arena in which virtue is exercised and tested. It is not the absence of struggle that makes a life great, but the ability to hold one's ground when the winds turn cold. In those moments, endurance becomes more than a response, it becomes a vow. A vow to meet each moment not just with breath, but with intention. To persist not for the sake of pride, but for the sake of what is right. Endure, then. But do so with your chin lifted, your principles intact, and your spirit rooted in something greater than comfort. Let your pain become your polish. Let your trial become your teaching. Let your life, through struggle, shine. Principle 2. Question the external world. The world speaks loudly. It tells you what to chase, fear, and worship. It points to wealth as security, status as fulfillment, and applause as proof that you matter. But the Stoic listens with caution. He does not rush to believe the promises of the external world. He questions them, not with cynicism, but with clarity. What is this I am being sold? Does it align with virtue, or merely vanity? What must I trade to have it? The Stoic looks past the surface, past the glint of gold, the headline, and the voice that flatters. He searches for the cost hidden beneath the shine. To question the external is not to retreat from life. It is to enter it more consciously. The Stoic does not reject wealth or recognition outright, he simply refuses to be ruled by them. He knows that anything given by fortune can be taken by it, and what can be taken cannot be the foundation of peace. So he asks, is this necessary? Is it true? Is it mine to want? In a world built to provoke craving, the Stoic cultivates discernment. He trims desire at the root. He honors sufficiency. He walks lightly. Freedom is not found in possession but in perspective. Let the world swirl, let it clamor. You ask the deeper questions, and wait for answers worth trusting. Principle 3. Guard your inner peace. Your mind is a dwelling place. Treat it as you would a sacred home. Do not allow every stranger to enter. Do not allow every gust of gossip, spark of outrage, and wave of judgment to take up residence. The Stoic defends his inner life not with isolation but with vigilance. He knows peace is not a passive state but a boundary, cultivated and kept. Guarding your peace does not mean turning away from the world. It means facing it from a place of strength. It means not absorbing every insult, not rehearsing every grievance, not yielding your composure every time life startles you. The Stoic watches the storm, but remains centered in stillness. This is not apathy, it is alignment. It is refusing to give the best of your energy to the worst of others' intentions. The Stoic returns, again and again, to the quiet within, checking, what is mine to carry? What is noise? And what is signal? What must I let go to remain whole? Your peace is the soil in which right action grows. Protect it. Feed it with silence. Weave it with integrity. Let it be the lens through which you see the world, not blurred by agitation, but sharpened by calm. And when the world rages, let your stillness become your strength. A refuge not just for you, but for others who seek clarity in your presence. Principle 4. Embrace adversity as growth. The Stoic does not fear hardship. He welcomes it, not as a punishment, but as a process. He sees adversity not as a signal that something has gone wrong, but as confirmation that he is alive, engaged, and being shaped. Like the blacksmith's fire tempers steel, adversity tempers the soul. Every challenge faced rightly becomes a stone laid in the foundation of character. The broken heart becomes compassion. The failure becomes humility. The loss becomes perspective. These are not metaphors, they are transformations. The Stoic walks through the flame and comes out different, not immune to pain but no longer defined by it. To embrace adversity is not to celebrate suffering but to understand its place. The Stoic knows that comfort breeds complacency, but challenge demands clarity. And in that clarity, the self is refined. Obstacles become the way, not by magic, but by meaning. By the choice to see what they can teach rather than what they deny. The Stoic does not wait for ease. He trains in the hard places. He finds his edge and walks it, not for show, but for strength. Grow through what tests you. Let the pressure carve out your potential. And when you emerge, do not boast, just continue, stronger and quieter than before. Principle 5. Practice restraint, not repression. Emotion is not the enemy. It is the spark, the signal, the echo of what matters. But left untended, it becomes the master, and the Stoic serves no master but reason. He does not silence his feelings, he listens to them. He does not banish them, he brings them to the table and calmly chooses what they ask of him. Restraint is the discipline of freedom. It is the moment between anger and outburst, between fear and retreat. It is not tight-lipped denial, but deliberate clarity. The Stoic feels deeply, but acts deliberately. He honors what rises without being overtaken by it. This is not coldness. It is courage. It takes courage to hold a rising tide and not be drowned. It takes strength to say, I feel this and will still not act in haste. The Stoic observes the emotion, names it, and then asks, what serves the greater good? What aligns with virtue? Repression buries. Restraint integrates. And in that integration, the Stoic becomes whole, neither numb nor volatile, but steady. Moved by principle, not by passion alone. In every moment of tension, this choice returns. Will I react or respond? And in choosing restraint, the Stoic reclaims his power, not over others, but over himself. Principle 6. Act with integrity. Integrity is not a banner you wave, it is the quiet decision made when no one is watching. It is the alignment between what you profess and what you practice. For the Stoic, integrity is not optional. It is the thread that holds the entire garment of character together. To act with integrity is to hold the line even when the world pushes. When opportunity tempts you to compromise, fear begs you to retreat, and success whispers that shortcuts are justifiable, integrity stands firm, not with arrogance but with stillness. It does not shout. It does not need applause. It is enough on its own. The Stoic understands that the rewards of integrity are often invisible. No one may thank you for doing what's right. You may lose more than you gain. But what you keep, your self-respect, your peace, your coherence, cannot be replaced. This is not morality dressed in performance. It is virtue worn in the dust of daily life. It is the refusal to fracture. To live as one whole self, public and private, spoken and silent, praised or not. So when the choice is unclear, ask, which path lets me look myself in the eye tomorrow? Which action keeps me whole, even if the world never notices? Then walk it. Let others chase image. You remain intact. Principle 7. Find strength in solitude. Solitude is not emptiness. It is presence without distraction. It is where your voice becomes audible again, after the world's noise has faded. The Stoic does not fear solitude. He seeks it, not to escape, but to return, to realign, to remember. Soul solitude becomes rare and radical in a culture that mistakes busyness for importance and constant connection for meaning. But it is there, in the quiet, that strength is grown, strength that doesn't need validation, that doesn't need to be witnessed to be real. The Stoic meets himself in silence. He questions, he reflects, he listens, not for new opinions, but for deeper understanding. He walks alone at times, not because he is above others, but because clarity sometimes lives in distance. He does not fear his own company. He cultivates it. Solitude is where you face your flaws without flinching, where you trace the shape of your values and ask, have I honored them? It is not always easy. The silence can be sharp. But what emerges is strength, not noise, not bravado, but the quiet assurance that you are enough. Let solitude be a sanctuary, not a sentence. In it, you are not lonely, you are whole. Principle 8. Release the need for approval. Approval is sweet, but it is also a leash. The Stoic sees how praise can become a tether, how validation can become dependent. He does not reject appreciation, but he does not require it. He lives by his compass, not by the applause it earns. To release the need for approval is to free yourself from 1,000 invisible hands. It is to stop shaping your life by what will be liked, and start shaping it by what is right. The Stoic acts according to virtue, not reaction, not fashion, not fear. This freedom is not callousness. It is courage. The courage to say, I will do what is right, even if it is misunderstood. Even if it is unpopular. Even if no one claps. Because rightness, for the Stoic, is its own reward. Let others measure you. Let them guess, praise, criticize, admire, or mock. You remain anchored. You know where your worth begins, and where it cannot be found. In letting go of approval, you regain something far more precious, sovereignty over your own soul. Principle 9. Choose love over anger. Anger arrives fast and speaks loudly. It demands, distorts, divides. Love, by contrast, is quiet, deliberate, resilient. The Stoic does not pretend anger does not rise. He simply chooses not to serve it. He chooses love, not sentimentality, but clarity. It is not a weakness, but the strength to remain open when it is easier to close. Anger feels like power, love feels like risk. But the Stoic sees beyond the moment. He knows anger may feel justified, but its fruit is often bitter, regret, destruction, the erosion of connection. Love, though vulnerable, repairs. It does not excuse harm, but it chooses not to perpetuate it. Choosing love is not about liking everyone. It's about holding space for their humanity. It's about responding, not reacting. It's about seeking harmony without abandoning truth. Love, for the Stoic, is the decision to see others not as enemies or obstacles, but as fellow travelers, fallible, fragile, striving. Just like you. So, in the face of provocation, choose the more challenging path, the stronger one, the path that leaves room for healing, not just for victory. That path is love. Walk it, and you will find peace, not only with others, but with yourself. Principle 10. Balance work and rest. Effort is noble. Striving is sacred. But without rest, even the strongest will bend. The Stoic honors both exertion and stillness. He works intensely, but he also knows when to pause, breathe, and return to himself. Life is not a sprint. Nor is it slumber. It is rhythm. And the Stoic listens for that rhythm in his own life, adjusting as needed, not from laziness, but from wisdom. Just as the body cannot grow without recovery, the mind cannot think clearly without silence. The soul cannot thrive without reflection. Rest is not indulgence, it is preparation. It is the act of tending to the roots that allows the fruit to flourish. The Stoic does not collapse into rest, he enters it with intention, knowing that without it, his work loses its clarity, purpose, and shape. Balance is not symmetry, it is honesty. Some seasons demand more. Others ask you to slow. The Stoic answers both with presence. He does not idolize exhaustion. He does not romanticize burnout. He moves between work and rest like a craftsman caring for his tools. Honor both. And in the space between effort and ease, find a life that endures. Principle 11. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is the lens that clarifies the world. It does not ignore pain. It does not pretend everything is well. It simply shifts the gaze from what is missing to what is present. The Stoic does not wait for life to be perfect before saying thank you. He gives thanks now, for the breath, for the challenge, for the ordinary moment that could have been otherwise. To cultivate gratitude is to take nothing for granted. It is to see the hand you still hold, the path beneath your feet, and the lesson unfolding. Even in hardship, there is always something to cherish, the strength to continue, the clarity that comes from loss, the resilience that grows in dark places. Gratitude is not denial. It is the discipline of perspective. It allows the Stoic to meet life not with bitterness, but with reverence. Each moment, even the hard ones, becomes a part of something sacred. Look around. Look within. Give thanks, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's not. And in that practice, the soul softens, steadies, expands. Gratitude is the quiet song that carries you through the storm. Principle 12. Live in alignment with nature. Nature transcends mere trees and shifting seasons. It is the embodiment of order and the rhythm governing existence. A Stoic recognizes this fundamental truth and seeks harmony with it. He does not insist on permanence in what is fleeting, nor does he succumb to anger at the certainty of change. Instead, he adapts his course, not by sacrificing his convictions, but by discerning the boundaries of his influence and accepting the limits of his control. In this acceptance lies the essence of wisdom and strength. Living in alignment with nature means accepting that life includes death, joy includes loss, and growth includes pain. It means allowing each season to be what it is, not wishing for spring in the heart of winter but embracing the cold as part of the cycle. This is not fatalism. It is fidelity to reality. The Stoic walks through the world with open eyes and a soft step. He does not resist change, he works with it. He does not cling to what fades, he learns from it. He lives fully, because he does not try to control what is beyond him. To live in alignment with nature is to live in truth. And truth, the Stoic knows, is the only place where peace can root, grow, and remain.